Hello, this is Virtual's Chess Noob, learning and having fun with chess. So today I had another game with my Chess Noob sub. So this is a subscriber who wanted to remain anonymous. They rated it in around 700, and on the last match I lost against them due to my inaccurate, slightly arrogant play. I had the white pieces this time and I was hoping to get my dignity back. So e4, e5, knight c3, Vienna. They decided to play the Max Lange Defense with knight to c6, okay, bishop to c4, and they played the full copycat variation. You should never go full copycat, and when they do, you need to play Queen G4. The move to know, immediately attacking the G7 pawn. Now, against this move, my opponent played a fascinating move, I think. And one of the things, of course, about lower rated players is often they're not very familiar with theory. This is actually a very tricky position, even for intermediate players. And this is partly why Queen G4 is so strong. The move for black to know is king to F8. Very, very difficult to see. And my subscriber played a backwards knight move, knight e7. Look, I think what they were thinking, maybe they were rerouting the knight or bringing the knight back for defense. These knights maybe defend each other. However, they haven't addressed this threat to g7. And so, captures, and the game really is almost over now. This is +8 in this position on move 5. And no matter, I think, how tricky you are, it's difficult to get back from something like +8 unless your opponent blunders. So they played immediately the best move, d5, so disconnecting the bishop from the f7 pawn, because of course that is potentially mate, practically a scholar's mate. But here they've got 2 defenders, but I have 3 attackers. So this is a losing position for black. Now I took with my knight thinking that I had another attack here and basically forcing an exchange. Stockfish calls this a mistake, though I'm still completely winning at about +4. And the reason for that is black has this very interesting move, knight to g6. And knight to g6 practically traps the queen in that position. It pretty much can't really go anywhere because almost every, well, I think every single escape square is defended. So that's a really, really fascinating move. However, with that, direct threat, I expected black to capture, and that's what they did. You can see that was the best move. That was a mistake because 2 defenders, 3 attackers, now I take. And again, there is a threat of mate. Now, Stockfish reckons here I should have just taken the rook. I thought that was fine potentially. I thought that black was probably going to try to clarify something in the center, which they did, rather than trying to trade queens. Again, that is a blunder. Back now to +10. So here, takes, and now I have the rook. And by move 9, I'm +7 in material. So this is an absolutely devastating opening. So if your opponent goes full copycat, Queen G4, extremely powerful move. That was a very tricky move by my opponent, looking at a potential mate threat. So if I do something very silly, let's say something like that, then you can see mate in 2 because it's check, king forced here, and that would be mate. So, do need to be careful. That's what they were looking at. However, they now hang another piece. Oops, there we go. They now hang another piece. Check, that forces the king to move. King is now stuck in the center. Back here, force the king back, so that rook can't develop. I think the king might have been better coming forward, but, that's a pretty terrible position. And now my goal, +10 in material, is let's see whether or not we can trade queens. Obviously, black doesn't want to trade queens with my material advantage. I expect that they will take with check, that's fine. The king now dodges to a d1, and it's perfectly fine. One of the things with none of my pawns remaining being developed is that this is rock solid. With so many pawns in their starting positions, it's actually extremely difficult for black to actually form an attack. They do have a queen and bishop developed, but you know, they have no real attack. And all I now need to do is to develop my pieces, and then it should be winning. So here they decide to develop their rook, that's fine. Knight forward, 2 attackers now on that e5 pawn. They moved the king forward. I wasn't entirely sure what that was about. Were they thinking of maybe, you know, forming an attack here or here? I suppose that makes a bit of sense. But now rook e1, attacking the queen. And once the queen moves, 3 attackers on that e5 square, getting super powerful. Queen obviously jumps out of the way. I decided to push this pawn at this point just so that I don't have to think about it being stuck there. King does a bit of a shuffle, and here it is mate in 11. Stockfish can find a mate in 11. Apparently the best move was rook to d5, defending that pawn. But you know, there's 3 attackers there, so that is still an absolute terrible move. So now it's about cleaning up, cleaning house. Knight jumps forward, attacking the queen. Queen now moves to that square, and this was basically a mistake or blunder because there now is a mate in 3. Check. King falls forward. Now here, I don't make the most accurate move. I just decide to go chasing the queen, so I give another check. I couldn't quite see the mating net. On analysis, obviously Stockfish finds it right away. That is bishop to g5, check. The queen covers everything here, covers that square. Bishop, of course, covers here. Knight covers that square. And so king is forced to d6. And now we have mate. Very lovely mating net, king towards the middle of the board. Now, I didn't see that in game. And so instead, I played queen to f7 with check. King forced now to this square. And what I saw was the more conservative. Let's try to nuke the queen. Royal fork, capture the queen, they take, and now a4. Basically taking away that escape square for the king. I was sure here I must be able to find some sort of mating net. They attack the queen, that's fine. Check, so develop another piece, so to form that mating net. King in that position, check. Now king now drops down here, and here I give another check, but again I miss a quicker mate. So here, with the queen under attack, I can sacrifice the queen. You know, it doesn't feel quite right to do so, but I can sacrifice the queen. King to c2, they take, and then mate. Again, lovely mating net in the middle of the board. I didn't see that. I thought I'd better save the queen. And so, now what happened here? Yep, check. And then I think I brought the queen over. Check. This basically forces that to block. The only thing to stop mate. And now with check, king forced to take. But now check, forced to take. And now mate. Good game, GG. My big takeaway from this game is to never go full copycat against the Vienna. While if you're playing with white and you see the full copycat, pounce with queen g4. I hope you enjoyed this video and thanks for watching.